Microsoft just made its biggest change to Copilot since the product was first announced, and that is the fact that it is now available for general consumers with Microsoft Copilot Pro, and they've removed the restrictions for businesses wanting to upgrade to Copilot as well. In this video, we're going to focus on the consumer stream, so Microsoft Copilot Pro, because I'm really excited for this for consumers, for students, and for small businesses, and I think there's so many cool things about this. I'm so excited about Microsoft Copilot Pro that I have just factory reset one of my Surface devices so I can show what the entire experience is like of getting Copilot from the beginning. So let's jump on the computer and look at that now. Of course, if you like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to supercharge raise your computer, hit that subscribe button as well. With that being said, let's get into this. A great resource to learn about Microsoft Copilot is this website right here, microsoft.com/ENAU Microsoft Copilot. I'll link in the description down below, but this is where you can learn everything about Copilot, both for individuals and for businesses. If we scroll down on this page here, you actually see it shows you the find the right Copilot experience for you. There is the free version, which I've covered in a previous video. I'll link that in the description down below. Copilot Pro, which is increased productivity and creativity for individuals. You will need a Microsoft 365 license for this, whether it's a family or an individual. And then you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, and this is the business version. In today's video, we're going to focus on Copilot Pro, and we're going to select on Explore Copilot Pro. One caveat to unlocking Copilot Pro is the fact that you do need an existing Microsoft 365 subscription, and that is a personal or a family account. And this is a additional charge on top of that. In Australia, it is expensive. It is $33 per user per month. So it is very expensive when you compare it to just the regular price of a Microsoft 365 subscription, even the family subscription, but you do get quite a lot for it. You gain priority access to ChatGPT and GPT-4 Turbo. You get Copilot, which I'm really excited about, in Microsoft 365 apps. This isn't as fully fledged as the 365 for business, but we are going to look at this today. And then, of course, you get more image credits with the DALL-E image creator. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select on Get Copilot Pro. This is going to take us to the purchasing window here. You want to make sure that your details are correct, and you can choose your payment method. You can hit change if they are incorrect. And then you can also tick the box if you want privacy information tips from Microsoft 365 products. I'm going to leave that unticked because I get enough of those already. And I'm simply going to select on subscribe. And like I said, my computer is running a whole bunch of updates in the background. And I've blasted this away just for you guys so you can see the full experience here. Right now it says it is getting things ready for us. And it's taking longer than usual. I'm pretty sure that's because there are a lot of people subscribing to Copilot. I've just got a notification on PayPal on my phone saying that the transaction went through. It says, thank you for subscribing to 365 Copilot. Now let's get started. To use Copilot in Microsoft 365, you need to open or restart your apps. And this has access to 5 applications: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Onenote, and Outlook. Before we launch into any of these applications on the desktop, let's actually hit the Get Started button right now to see where this is going to take us. So this has taken us to the regular Copilot, but you can see in the top here, or Copilot on the web, we now have Copilot Pro, not just regular Copilot. And you can see we've got GPT-4, which actually this doesn't look any different. So are you Copilot Pro? Let's find out what it says. But one thing that is actually different is in the top right hand corner, it got the answer wrong. It says, no, I'm not Copilot Pro, but of course it is. I do have the option now of plugins. No, that's actually still the same. So this right now looks all pretty much the same, except actually I did notice one thing. It was a lot faster. So let's try that again. A quick generic question of how does Copilot work? It does seem like it is working faster, and this is because we are getting priority access to that GPT-4 model. So even though the first question was incorrect or its answer was incorrect, I do notice this is significantly quicker than what it would have been previously if I was using the free version of copilot.microsoft.com. But I'm not really here to play around with Copilot on the web. If you are interested in that, I'll link a video down below. But what I want to see is how it works in our applications. So let's launch Word for the first time, and let's just open up a blank document. And do we have Copilot on here? Right now, it seems like we don't. Ooh, so here's something I didn't know, but I should have known, but I didn't know, but I figured it out. And that is obviously right now you can only use Copilot Pro on the web. So a lot of these features are actually coming to the web first. I got excited by watching some of their Microsoft 365 YouTube videos, and it showed the desktop app working, and it said in preview or something like that. But I thought maybe, just maybe, they would have pushed it out to the desktop if people are paying for it. You can see here that we are in Microsoft Word on the web, and we have access to Copilot. If I put my Word right next to it though, I don't have the Copilot option. You can see I have it here. So it seems like right now you can use Copilot if you have Copilot Pro on the web. The great thing about this is actually the fact that whether you're using a PC or a Mac, if you're paying for Copilot Pro, you are going to get access to the exact same experience because it is on the web. The other cool thing is because this uses web resources like access to GPT as well as your OneDrive files. Forcing you to use it on the web means that it actually will always have internet connection. So it's not one of those features that will break if you are, say, in an airport, on a plane, things like that. And it also means it will all work on your Word documents and your files online. But of course, if you're on your desktop, you may not realize that it won't access the documents stored locally on your hard drive, or it might not have access to the internet. So caveat here is that even though I'm paying for Copilot Pro, you can only use it on the web. I'm not sure if that's going to be a forever thing or a for now thing. Of course, with devices getting newer processing units and AI built into the hardware of it, that may change in future. But for now, let's see what Copilot on the web in Word can do. So the first thing we're going to do is actually open up a Word document and have a look at Copilot in Word. This is just a document here. You'll see in your Home tab, on the right-hand side, you'll have Designer and Copilot, and these are the two products we just paid for. Underneath, it's going to ask us to draft with Copilot. It's going to ask us to describe what you'd like to write about, include notes or an outline, and Copilot can generate a draft to help you get started. So let's actually quickly put in a draft and see what it can come out with. So I've just dropped in a quick draft about wanting to create a video, and let's hit Generate Report, see what it actually can come up with. So this is quite cool. I gave it a little bit of detail, and it is creating a very cool brief here. So it's given us the pros and cons of Copilot for consumer, and it's broken it down into, well, what is Copilot? What are the benefits? What are the challenges? What you saw there though was before I put a bit of information into what I was trying to create. The more information and the better prompts you give it, the better information you get back from it. If you give it a one-word sentence, you're only going to get very little out of it. So you can see here, you can choose to now keep it. You can ask to regenerate it. You can delete it, or you can ask it to fine tune it. So possibly shorten the last paragraph, or maybe I can say, provide 5 more examples of how technology has changed. So when I added that in, it's actually deleted and restarted everything because I was editing the full document. But that's quite cool, and you can see it is working really quickly in terms of generating this report. So we've got what is Copilot, the benefits, the challenges, and now it's added to the bottom. How has technology changed for the better? It's added in, and it's given some really good examples here. So that's really quite cool. I'll simply select on keep it, and there we go. We've actually, just from that individual prompt, we have created a really cool document here. If we select on a certain paragraph, we can actually select on Copilot on the left-hand side. We can ask to rewrite it or visualize it as a table. Let's see what visualize as a table looks like. I'm not sure how it will do with this introduction, but that's really cool. It breaks it down. That's smart. I like that quite a bit. I'm actually really impressed. So you can see here, that's a few examples of using Copilot on Word. This isn't a full tutorial. This is really just an introduction to the products. So let's jump over and have a look at Copilot in Outlook. I'm actually excited the most about Copilot in Outlook because that's a product I use all the time. You can see here we are in my Outlook. I'm going to open up an email, and this here is actually the Welcome to Copilot email from Microsoft. I'm going to select on reply, and if I open up my ribbon, And you see here, I also have the option of Copilot, and Copilot in Outlook gives you two options. The first one is draft, and the second is coaching. Drafting will help you rewrite what you're trying to say, and coaching will give you pointers. So let's start with a draft. So select on draft with Copilot. And what would you like to say? I just want to say thank you for the welcome to Copilot. And then you can hit the tune button here, and then you can choose the tone, and then of course you can choose the length. I also like the fact they have make it a poem. Let's keep it like this and hit generate. It is now generating that draft, and it just says, I appreciate the welcome to Copilot, looking forward to using it. You can of course keep it, discard it, or regenerate. I like that. I'm going to hit keep it, and it even talks about Microsoft 365. And then if I select on this again and go Copilot, I'm going to ask it to coach me now. So this is going to analyze the email that we've written, and it's going to review things like our tone, our clarity, and give us some insights about it as well. And now it's generating some suggestions. So you can see here it's really quite quick in the way it works. And then it tells you how you can actually improve your tone. So instead of I appreciate the welcome, you could say I'm thrilled to join, or I'm delighted to be a part of. You can understand the reader's sentiment to see how it may engage curiosity or engagement here. It can talk about engagement. It will give you the clarity of your email. And then of course, because this is Copilot generated, doesn't have many suggestions, but if you had a poor written email, it would give you more suggestions here as well. Copilot is also available in Excel, and I think this will be a game changer for anyone that works with data, but also the fact that Copilot in Excel will be a bigger learning curve, I'd say, than any other Copilot products out there for the 365 stack. Right now, we just have a sample data set from Excel. So this is just a template they have. And really one thing I'll show you is that if you go on the regular part of Excel and open up Copilot, you select on Home and open up Copilot on the right-hand side here. The first thing it tells you is I only work in an Excel table. So if you already have a data range, select it and convert it. I've done that quickly here as a sample sheet. And then it tells you the 4 things that it can do. So it can add a formula to the columns, it can highlight, it can sort and filter, it can analyze, or you can ask it a question about the data. You can ask a question or make a request about the data in this table. So I'm going to ask it, what is the average work in hours? Because I can see we have the column there called actual work in hours. So let's see if it can grab and understand that. So you can see here, it has given us an average of the estimated work in hours, which is quite cool. We don't have to know the sums of that. We just asked it a basic question like that. So I'm actually pretty impressed. What is the earliest and latest start and finish dates? Of course, I'm just asking questions for a data set I know nothing about. And I'm just quickly having a look here to see if it is sort of accurate with the answers. But the fact that you can ask it these sorts of questions, and the more you ask it, or the more you know your own data, the more detailed your questions can be. Estimated start and finish dates. Let's see what this does if we add it to a new sheet. So it's created a pivot table for us. Obviously, poor data, rubbish in, rubbish out. It wasn't the best data set that I gave it. It wasn't the best prompt, but obviously it's brought the answers to us, which is quite cool. And you can see here that you don't need to be a whiz with Excel. You can just ask it the questions. If I select on analyze though, I don't even know what I want to know. I'm just going to ask it to analyze the data. And it says I can analyze data and show insights in charts and pivot tables. Select a suggested prompt or describes what you'd like to know. So of course, right now, because I don't know really this data set, I'm going to ask it the distribution of projects by category. Let's see what it can do. Well, it's all category 1 to, average data set, but you can see here that it's creating tables for us. It's creating distribution. The output here isn't great because the data which we're using isn't great, but Copilot is actually really powerful right now. Of course, when I have more time to play around with it with a real data set, I will create videos on that. But now let's jump over to Copilot in PowerPoint. So again, you can access Copilot in So again, you can access Copilot in PowerPoint by selecting on the Home tab, and on the right hand side of your ribbon, you have the Copilot symbol. This is actually a little side presentation I created to help people understand what artificial intelligence is, the types of AI. So this is a project that I was actually working on, and let's open up Copilot to see what it can do for us. So it is opening up. So here are some of the things you can try. Summarize the presentation, organize it, ask a question about this deck. So I'm going to ask it to provide a summary of this presentation. Here are the main ideas. Yeah, it's actually just summarized my main ideas of the presentation, basically introducing what AI is and everyday AI, talk about the rise of ChatGPT and the AI adoption, and then what the opportunity for organizations in Australia is, which is $115 billion a year at the time of pulling that data. Maybe if I ask her to organize this presentation, I don't know what that's going to do, but let's find out. It's taking a bit longer now to organize the presentation. I'm not sure why this is, but let's see what the output looks like and see if it's worth the wait. Okay, that's cool. So it groups it into sections and it has added slides. So it gives me a structure of how we can present it. So it says added, and it's actually brought it into, and it's added slides. So it created slide 2 for us. It created slide 5 for us. That is awesome. So it has basically gone through, it's added slide 9, 13, and slide 18. That is really smart. So it's basically understood what the presentation is about, and then it has grouped it into the 5 sections. As you can see, we've got 5 sections there, and then it's also added headers to it as well. That's really quite powerful. I'm going to ask it a question about this presentation, then we're going to wrap on this one here, but I'm actually really impressed by that. And you can see here, it actually pulls questions from my information. So I was going to talk about the difference between a search and a reasoning engine. Let's see if it can actually pull that information, which it did straight away. Gives you an answer of what a search engine is. That's cool. What are 5 ways to use AI? So I have a slide here called 5 ways to use artificial intelligence, and you'd build it out with the people in the audience. And maybe one of the answers is actually using it to answer questions like this. And I know it's going to answer this for us because this is a basic question you can ask AI. It's not the most complicated question, so it will generate a pretty decent response. I know that. But sorry, I stand corrected. It pulls the answers only from the presentation here, not just from the internet. So it's analyzing the data in the presentation. So if your presentation is incorrect, or if you don't have the information there, it won't just pull it from the internet. It uses the information in that presentation that you're working in. So that's, I just learned something then as well. Moving on to the last product for today's video is of course OneNote, Copilot in OneNote. I'm going to open up a notebook here. And then I did notice this and I thought it was going to appear, but even though it says Copilot is available for OneNote, if I go through all the settings here, home, insert, draw, all that sort of stuff, I actually cannot see what Copilot available yet in OneNote. So maybe they will release this in the future. But there you guys have it. That is an introduction to Microsoft Copilot Pro and how we can get it. Right now, it is only available on M365 on the web. You can't get it working on your desktop applications. The cool thing about that though is whether you're using a PC or a Mac, your experience is going to be the same. I'm sort of excited. Actually, I'm very excited about the prospect of what this can do for individuals, for organizations, for sole traders, for students, all that sort of, basically anyone that uses the M365 suite will benefit from this. One caveat that I take away though, or one thing I take away from my experience first using Copilot, is that even if you are quite, say, tech savvy, it does have a steep learning curve. I am going to produce a lot better content, a lot more in-depth content, and how you can use it better once I myself play around with it. I wanted to create this video to show you how you can get started with Copilot and really walk you through using it for the first time, a few things you can try. Let me know what you think about Microsoft Copilot Pro in the comment section down below, and if you think it's worth paying for. Of course, if you like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and if you're in a supercharged way as your computer, hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.